Skanderbeg, the national hero of Albania. The real name of this person is not Skanderbeg. The real name of this person is George Castriot, or something like George Castriot in English. Skanderbeg is the name for the honor that the Sultan of the Ottoman Empire gave to this person. That I'll explain what does it mean Skanderbeg, because it's with meaning inside. Was born in 1405, died in 1468. We are talking about back on the 15th century. Was born in Kruja city that it's not more than 35 minutes up to Tirana at the part of the north. When he was 5 years old, a child, he was taken in by the Ottoman Empire with force to be soldier for them, because it was a tradition from the Ottoman Empire that in any place that they invaded, the child, boys, not girls, from 5 years to 10 years old to be taken from them for the soldier. And the same thing happened with this guy, and he rise up, he grew up inside to the Topkapi Palace. Topkapi Palace was the palace of the Sultan that we can find now in Istanbul, but it's a museum now. But he was also the education over there, but he was very good, he was very wise, he was very intelligent. And when he was 29 years old, he arrived to be the personal, let's say, the personal guard, the personal bodyguard of the Sultan, that was called the Pasha of the Sultan, and also the commandant of the army, or let's say the general of the Yeniçer or Janissaries. Janissaries, the best soldier of the Ottoman Empire, like the Marines now, for example, in the States. And for the good thing that he do it for the Sultan and for the Ottoman Empire, and for many wars that he won it under the name of him, the Sultan at the time, that was called Murat II Sultan, or in Turkish Murat II Sultan, said to this person that for the good thing that you have done for me, I want to give to you one name for the honor, and I want to give to you the name of the great Alexander of Macedonia, Alexander the Great, because you are like him, you never lose any war for me, you are strong. But Alexander, the name Alexander in Turkish language is Skander. And this behind of Beg, it's a title by the Ottoman Empire. In fact, it's the lowest title of the Ottoman Empire, like Vezir, Pasha, Beg. That doesn't mean Mr. or Sir. For this reason, it was called Skander Beg. That doesn't mean Mr. Alexander. And then 4 years later, when he was 33 years old, he decided to come here in Albania and to fight against the Ottoman Empire. And he arrived because he stopped the invasion of the Ottoman Empire for all the time that he was alive, and also he helped the Europe to not be invaded by the Ottoman Empire. Not by himself, because by himself it was impossible. In collaboration, in coordinated with all the kings and the queens of the Europe back on the time. But 3-4 persons that was more present, that they supported this guy, they was always the Pope of the Vatican, that back on the time was called Pope Pius II, Charles VII, the King of the France, Alphonse V, the King of Naples, in Italy now, and also with the King of the England, that back on the time was called Henry VI, that back on the time in England was also the Lancaster War of the Roses. All these persons in coordinated with each other, they stopped the invasion of the Ottoman Empire here in Albania. Otherwise, if they never supported Skanderbeg, Albania, in the direction of the Adriatic Sea on the coast, it was as a bridge for the Ottoman Empire to pass in Italy, in Spain, in France, in all of the Europe. But all these persons, they already decided.
Now, tell me the part about when they go to Sicily. You said Piana,
Back on the 15th century, when the Skanderbeg, he was fighting with the Ottoman Empire. Before that, he died in 1468. In 1462, he signed something with the Pope of the Vatican and with Alphonse V, the King of Naples. He signed something that he said it to them, I'm helping to you to not be invaded by the Ottoman Empire. I want that you help me, that when I'm not going to live anymore, I want that all the families of the principalities of Albania, the general and the high level of the society back on time here in Albania should be in Italy, because I'm pretty sure that when I'm not going to live anymore, when I'm not going to be anymore, the Ottomans they are coming here in Albania, and all the heads of these people, they are going to be cut by after the death of the hero, from in the Albanian hero Skanderbeg died at the 17th January 1468, and then something about in September 1468 the Vatican and the King of the Naples they sent in here some ferries, some boats, and all the main families, the principality families that here in Albania, they started to move in Italy under protection of the Vatican, and they was all located to the south of Italy, and all the lands that even now exist, there was a gift from the Vatican for this person that they were calling arborage. Even now they are calling arborage. But if we are going together over there, and if we find two persons that they are talking in the old language of Albania, because they keep it something, and if you say to me, Martin, explain something because you are Albanian, what they are talking about, it's very hard to understand something from them, because we should know that back on the time, Albanian, they were talking something about 55% in Latin. Yeah.
So Martin, the towns though, in Sicily.
It's not only one town. It's not only one town, sir. It's from the Naples that we know now as Napoli. From the Naples down to the Sardinia. The famous one, it's called Pianura dei Albanesi. It's called the famous one, Pianura dei Albanesi. Okay, Pianura dei Albanesi is in Italy, but in English we can call something like, let's say, hill or something like that. The hill of Albania. A kind of hill. Yeah.
Your name is Martin. What I actually just say, we are here in Tirana.
The capital of Albania. The capital from 1920, because before Durrës used to be the capital of Albania. Durrës is the second city, largest here in Albania. It's located on the Adriatic Sea, on the coast. But in 1920 they decided that Tirana to be capital because they was afraid from the invasion from Italy.
Sure.
That in fact it's arrived the invasion, but it's arrived in 1939, not in 1920. And from 1920 till now, Tirana is the capital, and they chose Tirana as the capital because it's on the center of Albania, and also it's very easy to protect the Tirana city because we have only two enter or two exit, one from Durrës, one from Elbasan. We have two enter, and it's very easy to control a city with two enters.
But so Martin, in New Orleans right now, and in America, and in Italy, we're gonna promote people going to see where their ancestors came from, and I'm here to learn about that. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm here because I think that I've been traced to that region of Sicily where Piana di Albanese is, so Vitesse Antolina, and those towns. So I am actually exploring my roots. I'm going to go there from here, and you're really a historian and an expert. So,
no, I'm not. I'm not a historian. I'm on the beginning to be a historian, because to be a historian, you should walk a lot. In the meaning, walk under the books. You know.
But if somebody comes here to start to study their history, how can they find you?
TripAdvisor, Booking.com, Facebook, but mostly from the hotel, because I told you that I work as a tour guide.
Yes.
But my phone number is +355 6830 70600.
Let that guy turn his bike off. But, this is celebrating culture. Obviously, we're based out in New Orleans, but we're here looking for our roots because that's what the story's about, is our culture and our roots. And it was just a pleasure meeting you and having you tell us about this gentleman here, because many in New Orleans trace our history to him.
He was a very important person back on the 15th century. If I'm going to compare him now, with, let's say, with our politicians that we have now in the Europe,
yes,
not in the States, not in the rest of the world, but let's say in the Europe, I'm going to compare him with, I don't want to exaggerate the word, but can I say Macron? Yes.
Okay. Sure,
yes, can I say Macron or something like, with the Prime Minister of Italy? Does it mean that he had it? a strong position
Right.
in this alliance that it was created back on the Europe, back on the 15th century, to protect it, to protect the Europe against of the invasion of the Ottoman Empire, and also to protect the Europe, against Islamism, or
Yes.
to keep it the Christianity back on the time. And Skanderberg had it a strong position. Yeah, that I told you. If I want to compare with our politicians in Europe now, I want to compare him with Macron or with Prime Minister of Italy.
That was a time where he literally protects the Pope and everybody from Christianity, saves
Now
Christianity.
we should know something, that the Ottoman Empire, why the Europe, the eyes of the Europe, they was located here in Albania, because they had some information back on the time that the Ottoman Empire, they wanted to follow with the Appia Street or Appia's Way, and even the Ignatius Way, two huge Romans way. The Appia's Way, for example, the Appia's Way, it was a huge Roman way that connected the Via Appia or Appia's Way, that connected Occident with the Orient, Rome in Italy and Constantinople, that we know now as Istanbul, the Occident and the Orient. And back on the time, this alliance in the Europe, they had some information that the Ottoman Empire, they wanted to follow with the Appia Street to invade all the Europe, but to the other way around, from Constantinople to Rome. And they was obligated to pass here in Albania. For this reason, it was all this support to the national hero of Albania, Skanderberg.
Martin, pleasure to meet
Thank
you.
you. Thank
And
you.
actually, I want to recommend that everybody in New Orleans has to come here and have
Thank
to
you.
find you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It was a pleasure.
All right, thank you. We'll be back with more of Celebrating Culture.